what, Shinbu?
I'm not saying it's a good pick. I'm just saying we
Okay.
have a very interesting pick here. The best part here is there is something we haven't seen before, right? We have something here that we haven't seen before, and we have a new badge, and that's what we want, right?
It's their
If this
understanding.
works.
It's their understanding.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Shinbu, what I worry for the Blufire side most in terms of drafting here is they clearly have a lot of magic damage on their side. If ever the enemy, the side of Execration
Yeah.
goes for Athena Shield,
Yeah.
an Oracle, a lot of their damage are going to be negated.
Yeah, and the thing here as well is they're very dependent on the cooldowns of their abilities. If their purple buff gets removed against them, that is very, very punishing onto the side of the Blue Fire squad. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on our game number 2. This is once again the day 1 of the 6th week of the MPL PH regular season. A match between Execration versus Blue Fire. Execration the Blue Fire on the red. Let us go. Okay.
Onto the middle lane, you could see that there is still this certain understanding for the side of Blufire that they're gonna go for a 1-3-1.
Yeah.
Well, for the side of Execration, they put 2 heroes on both sides.
Yeah, they got 2-1-2 actually on the setup here of Execration. But I almost forgot. I may want to wish and see the siege minion here. Which lane is which? But I cannot but feel. I think the bottom lane is the bottom lane the gold lane here. Turtle. Alright, so bottom lane is the gold lane.
Bottom lane is the gold lane.
Yeah,
XP lane will
XP lane is the
always
top
be
lane with the turtle side.
with
right?
the turtle side. And
Alright.
as we can see
Yeah, there we
here,
go.
that is our affirmation. That is going to be our XP lane just because
Yeah.
they have scrolls.
Now, this makes a lot of sense. Look at that. They have the Gusion actually went for the EXP lane so that the lane, the EXP, the level 4 would be accelerated on the Gusion. And look at here. You got Chaknu aiding towards Very Cutie, punishing quickly that Uranus, and that allows for Very Cutie getting chunks of gold from that shield protection. Guys, that's it. It's as easy as looking as this one. This is an early lead for the side of Execration.
So you get a support with good wave clear, poke potential onto the middle lane, and what you do after that is you put 2 heroes onto the side lanes. No matter how strong the side lanes are, that's only gonna mean that they're still gonna have a problem just because it's a 1v2.
It's a 1v2. And look at here. Hate already has his level 4 on. Very much willing to actually participate into the fights. Limbs also sits at level 4. But they know where the enter point of Limbs is. It does look like Execration is willing to actually force out Limbs. With a dive, there goes Chaknu. He went in. There goes Hate. First skill not gonna be connecting. There goes Fusigan for the counter, ladies and gentlemen. But at least they were able to get it back in that gold artillery. And yeah, still no kill down for the bottom lane, only just one, and that would be of Medicue earlier against the Raiders. Two! Boom!
And that is going to be the middle lane pressure that both of these teams can do. If you cannot see one person onto the lane, then that means you should be going back, and that is going to be another kill for the side of Execration. And it's a 2-1-2 understanding for the side of Execration. And it's interesting, Shinbu, because we talked about this earlier, that a lot of the teams here have different understandings, and it just shows.
It just shows, yeah. It just shows. The 2-1-2 setup here clearly accounts for 2 cores, 2 carry, right? You have the cushion, you have the YSS as well, and it's paying good for them, especially on the YSS lane, ladies and gentlemen, because Blue Fire here seems to want to acknowledge where the gank will come from Hate. So that's why maybe they're being a bit light onto this side lane Uranus, and maybe that's why things are escalating all in favor of Execration's very cuties YSS. And this is not good because these are just the laning phase setup. In the moment that Execration tries to group up, they might have a better lead here.
You know what?
Because of their 2 cores.
Shin, now I'm thinking that probably an invade isn't really the best thing to do. But what you do when other teams go for the invade is you try to get the information where they are taking the buff. Yeah, just get that information and just freely go through whatever it is that you have to go through in other lanes. Just because you can't really do the invades that easy when there is damage reduction on the jungle.
Chakno here. He's even guessing where limbs might be. So there is really a lot of pressure from them. And all that needs to be done here for Benecutie is just to make sure that Secret will always farm under a turret. Look at the burst there, down for Chu. And that's it. Well, we did mention Shango is really good for maintaining your lane, but not so good when there is a potent assassin. And we get the Gusion. Hate working on that one. Now Chakno here, not gonna be diving towards Secret. It doesn't matter, the pressure is still on. Coming in from Execration, you got the back shot along with the Karina dancing around. But Etamax is always sure to provide vision.
You know what, Shinbu? Why are they always targeting Chang away here? Why are they always going for Chu? Because right now Chu has the Purify.
Yeah,
So that means in terms of mobility, doesn't have that.
yeah, yeah. In terms of other stat, for the flicker at least,
Yeah.
right?
You can displace or you can dodge the
Yeah.
sword spike.
Yeah, there is I think some little movement speed on the Purify, but that is way has way little mobility compared to the flicker option. And of course, the team can capitalize on the idea that all right, you have anti crowd control, then let's go all in on the damage. Let's have a cushion, right?
And they're keeping it simple, keeping it basic. Execration here, not really showing us that much. But Blufire, they are getting forced out. Sword spike won't connect. That would have probably been a kill if the sword spike connected.
Yeah. But the problem here, Butters, is not really of just the gang, of just the pressure, but of the lead that Benecutie has. I'm very confident he has a very big gold lead here compared even to Unseen. Remember that Unseen has been dancing around on the EXP lane, so if you're looking into the levels, yeah, that's pretty intuitive. But in terms of gold here, you got 4.3 compared to the highest that is 3.1 of Blue Fire. So that's a lot of lead. A very early Blade of Despair here for Benecutie. Even with the physical, even with the attack speed dagger already onto him, second attack speed dagger. So look at that. He is really willing to do well. He's really willing to dish out those quick attacks just so he can get easy access on that executes of the Blade of Despair.
Yeah. I'm actually thinking that the Deadly Blade is a good alternative, as we've said.
Yeah.
But then again, it really sets you back.
Sets you back.
It
Yeah.
sets you back.
Yeah.
But look at this for inside of Execration. Sagitna didn't really even think about going for that Deadly Blade. He went straight for the Legion Sword.
Yeah.
And he gets a kill.
Even against Uranus, actually, look at that. Even against Uranus, I think the lead is too much, especially the one established by Chakno's dive, that you don't really need a Deadly Blade anymore. You just went for that raw, high damage. Just burst the Uranus down. I mean, if you get the execute mechanic, then why not, right? Even if you don't delay the shield, even if you don't reduce the shield, if you're just getting the execute down, then maybe that should be enough. Really, the idea here is just to accelerate your core. And that has been done here successfully by Execration. The acceleration goes at a lead of 7,000 in terms of gold and 10 in terms of kills.
You know what? I'm actually seeing Execration here being very creative, not only in setting themselves up in the lane, but look at their emblems here. Even Benecutie using a marksman emblem. To be honest, we haven't seen a marksman emblem ever since the start of MPL Season 5. Or maybe even the open the open qualifiers.
That
or
is
the
Electroflash, right? Is that Electroflash?
Not
The marksman of Benecutie, or I think it's the Electroflash marksman emblem here. Well, nonetheless,
that is the Electroflash.
Yeah, so we got here the mounting chart. It's been a long time since we see the marksman emblem.
We haven't
see always killing spree.
We
right?
always see killing spree.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Sometimes always there's a high end guy, especially when there's a hero like Cho or the others. The off lane is there, but you don't really see the marksman anymore. The marksman emblem, as other coaches have said, it's really outdated.
Yeah,
But
I kind of like the Electroflash actually for the early game. You know why?
Why?
First, you are targeting Uranus, the Imova. Quite, if you get Electroflash, you can actually get the Uranus to that. Yeah, Uranus might be durable, but the biggest impact of killing spree kicks in on the late game when you kill. So right now, there's an early emphasis. There is an emphasis for the patch that you would want to focus on the early game because there's just a lot of gold. There's just a lot of experience in the early game. So maybe that's why Electroflash is because you get a lot of hit. Yeah, if you land those hits, especially on the shield, I think that's very rewarding. I'm sorry, I would admit that to recall the Electro Flash provides
Uh,
it just provides movement speed, or does is there attack speed?
it provides 40% movement speed, and it restores and
So there's
HP is
movement speed.
restored by 30% of the hero's physical
So there
attack.
you go. So what happens there is that you have a nice laning. You have a very nice laning emblem there, right?
Yeah.
Because you have HP restoration, right?
Yeah, I do agree. Like clearly, just seeing how you put the Electro Flash into play.
Yeah. And plus the attack speed of the marksman emblem works really
Yeah.
well. If you want to target those
Yeah.
shield,
And the thing about it is, usually for other teams, like you would really just try to go for a killing spree. But then again, if the Yi Sun Shin is put in a very bad spot early on, if he gets that Flash proc going onto his side, he can regen his HP. And that could mean that 40% increase in terms of movement speed could mean life and death for the Yi Sun Shin. Because as we've said, Yi Sun Shin is one of those heroes that don't really go straight for that flicker. He wants to go for the retribution, probably not the purify because that's a built-in mechanic and one of his skills. But flicker is the second best spell for Eason Shin. But right now with an electro flash, you have the extra movement speed, you have the extra regeneration. I think it's a way to just say that my Eason Shin can actually live in dire situation.
yes, yes, and yeah, I mean, right now what is being shown here is a very very dominating performance there by Execration, and I love it. Not dominating performance really. It's about the two core setup, because even though I'm not so sure if this goes really solid with the meta. Again, I firmly believe on this. I think it's really too early to say something final with the project next patch. I think it's always best to really just have a nice amount of sample games, number of games, especially in competitive, to see what works. And but I love the experiment.
Mhm.
I love the change of you don't see this Gusion YSS on the
Yeah.
same comp. We would easily dismiss it as a losing comp.
Yeah.
We would if it before the project next patch, you could
But
easily dismiss it.
but this is
As
next.
a losing comp. But this is next. Welcome to the next, boys.
Welcome to Project Next. And
Welcome to
that
Project
is true.
Next.
Shin, some of these, I do agree, some of these would be a very bad draft if it was in the previous meta.
Yeah.
It wouldn't really make sense. It wouldn't stick together just because the components are jumbled up just by damage, getting a good lane, and just if you think about it, you wouldn't really give the purple buff to Gushon, so that means Gushon will be kept or limited in terms of what he can do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But with this, they can actually think about it. Who gets the priority on the purple buff first? They can actually say, okay, hey, you go get the purple buff first, then get the orange buff, then you just go wild.
Actually, Butters, before I believe on the 1-3-1 setup, which I witnessed on one of our partner tournaments, which is the Realme Mobile Legends Cup,
Yeah.
of course, by one of our official sponsors. I did so the 1-3-1 setup there by Team Payaman, and it was further confirmed by Honda Beast Gaming. Also one of the best minds here for Mobile Legends in their country. Now, the thing here is that before that, I actually believe that you could actually set up two cores. But the first thing I thought when I saw the Project Next patch is you can actually set up two cores in the form of having a jungle core and having a gold lane core. And I think this is what Execration is doing right now. I mean, this is clearly what what you can see on Execration side right now. That Gusion is a core. That Benny QT there, the YSS is totally a core. Maybe it's time for us, Zen Esports, for me and Manjin to finally settle and agree that we can be both cores.
You guys can both be cores. But you know what? it is a possibility. It is
We
a
might
possibility.
have a nice strategy with
We-
that kind of approach.
Yes. And if you guys don't know Sen Esports is our caster team. Us 5 shoutcasters in the MPL plus Rob Luna,
Yeah,
one of the shoutcasters here. The sixth man
sixth man.
shoutcaster is actually part of the team. So
Yeah.
clearly,
It's the overqualified
it's
team.
it's the overqualified team just
Yeah.
because we can't really join because
Yeah.
before we can join we were already disqualified.
Yes.
And yeah, I get the fact that there is a huge emphasis into highlighting or knowing how to utilize those lanes.
Yeah.
And I love the things that come out from these teams. Some think of it as a 1-3-1. Execration, think of it as a 2-1-2. And they're not. They're both not wrong.
Yeah.
There is nothing wrong into understanding your place in the game or your own set draft or set designations in terms of laning in the game. It's more the idea that we try to face those ideas against each other, and whoever wins it by the end of the day, I think that's the better
That's it. Yeah, it's
strategy.
as simple as that, right?
Yeah, it's as simple as that.
It's simple as that. Really, we need to see a lot of games. We really
Sample
need to
size.
see. We need a very good sample size here for the project next patch, and I think things will normalize. I honestly think things will normalize by the playoffs.
Yeah, and I like the
Not
idea.
on the other weeks. Not on the other weeks.
You know what?
Yeah.
There's this idea that came to my mind. Why does Etomax stay into the middle lane? I just feel that a mobile support that can stun or lock someone into place, if Etomax has the freedom to go out of the lane and just surprise people, then three people in one lane could take out that one person in
Yeah,
the lane.
of course, of course. I find Etamax is a very explosive player, honestly. On his preference on the Forza, he even goes as far as playing Leomord sometimes, even, right? But, yeah.
I'm actually scared of the capability of a Selena in this setup. At to want to set up, you put the Selena on mid.
I mean, yeah, honestly, I have very personal bias towards the Selena, but I really think it is totally doable.
Yeah, if you think about it, Shin, you don't have to leave your lane that much.
Yeah.
You can just throw out
Arrows on
throw
that
out the
lane,
arrow
and
on the
there's a lot of
maximum.
pressure within that
Yeah,
lane. Yeah.
maximum range. Throw
Yeah.
it in maximum
And
range.
you could just have your traps onto the sides.
Yeah.
So you'd have one lane that has a lot of strength in front and has a lot of guard onto the side, right? Has a lot of guard onto the side, and yeah, that's one possibility. That's one key strength here. Now the keyword is lane because lane, guys, has a lot of value right now. Although it's actually weird because we're accounting for the mid lane here, which I think we're yet to decide which lane has the most value. Honestly, I think it depends on tactic. Because even though yes, there is a gold lane, even though yes, there is an experienced lane, guys, mid lane is the shortest lane. That's the inherent advantage of the mid lane, and I still believe before the project next patch, we all kind of agree that the most important lane early on is the mid lane. Still, if you remove the outer mid lane turret, that is a very very big lead. Even after Project Next Patch, I still believe it is still the same. I still believe that in terms of
Of
pressure,
course.
it is very punishing if you lose that mid lane outer turret before your side lanes.
And you clearly see it in terms of the understanding of execution. They do not invade. They do not want to invade in any way. What they do, Shin, is they really just try to get the things done in terms of getting the idea where the other team is. Because here, for the side of Blufire, they picked up Karina. And Karina is said to be one of the suitable heroes for that jungle lane, for that jungle role. And I like how Blufire is dealing with this as well. But they can't really go head to head with the side of execution right now because the thing is, in terms of execution side, economy is balanced, XP is balanced. It gets spread out through the other sides.
Yeah.
Etomax gets a bit of priority just because he has a solo lane, and that's how it works usually.
Yeah.
So if Bluefire can stop the bleeding and cannot, turn things around on that Kagura onto the middle lane while she's alone, I don't think that they can actually catch up on this one anymore.
Well, let us see, ladies and gentlemen. We got here our return for the game. 8-minute mark. 12-0 on top of that 9,000 gold lead for the side of Execration. We're still yet to see the Lord as the 60-minute timer, a 60-second timer is still there. Rather, they are just setting up, kill brushes here. And maybe I think I can actually predict how the dive will be done here, how the fights will happen here. And yeah, that is some jumping, obviously.
And Jack News just saying that this is my house. You
Yeah.
cannot extend. You cannot go here. Go back to your base. You are not allowed to go out. You are grounded.
Yeah, that's it. You just follow up with a mounting shocker after the dive of Chaknu here.
It's
And
really safe.
yeah, very very safe, very methodical, and again you just need to have the waves in. There is enough wave clear onto the side of Blufire, but still there's the dive of Chaknu. I can see it. There we
Go!
go. There we go. There's the dive. There is the ultimate. There is the follow-up. There is going to be very cutie getting the kill onto the back shot. And also Sagittu following through. 2-4-0. Maybe take the 3 as they get the kill onto Limbs, on the Karina. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. On the mid, it is going to be Gunna. And yeah, no amount of wave clear will stop Execration of finishing this one. There's another jump onto Chakno, ladies and gentlemen. Look at Edomax here wants to finish the game. Focusing actually onto the main base for that part. But yeah, just like that, one setup on Chaknu, few seconds away, we got 2 inhibitors lost.
And this is a good performance coming out from Execration. They're pushing their limits. They know that at this point in the game, Blufire can't really do anything because in terms of damage output, they focused on magic a bit. Not a bit, but they really did focus on magic. So for the tanks here, as long as they itemize well, or the supports they itemize well, they could not go down. They don't have a chance of going down here.
Indeed. And did I just saw Chu use his ultimate without his second, but maybe just my eyes. Let us see here. Chakno gonna go for the dive here. Catch onto Unseen. Ultimate, of course, Unseen is actually one side laner here. It would be very rewarding to target him. You got no Zaz. That's one big reduction of your wave clear. That's gonna be it. It's just a countdown timer before this game closes in with the Lord already pushing in mid. And no minion wave up top. Doesn't matter. There is gonna be Changnu. He will be casting it. I really doubt he will cancel this. He will go for the dive, and that's gonna be on towards Chu. And they go for the base. Ladies and gentlemen, this game number 1 will go to the side of Execration.
You know what? Execration here just showing us how it's done. Blufire, they had something in mind. They really wanted to make it work, but sadly, it didn't really work into their favor. Execration showing us a 2-1-2. Is this their only understanding? We'll find out.
Well, all in day's work for the side here of Execration. Ladies and gentlemen, it is within our expectations. What is really good to highlight here, and I do hope Manjin would dwell on this topic, is of the 2 cores. I love the fact that we have a cushion. I love the fact that we have the YSS as well. This is a nice possibility. We're not saying this is an effective tactic that would work. It did work for now, but again, sample size. We need more sample size. But
Sample
just
size.
for this moment, it is so fun to watch. It is so good to look at. We got 2 cores. Quite a bit far from the 1-3-1 that we're used to.
And seeing heroes like Gushan
Yeah,
come back,
yeah.
and Karina even just debuting. For the longest time, we haven't seen a Karina even since season 1. Since season 1.
Yeah.
But right now, there is a Karina pick that is said to be a good jungle role or jungle hero right now. So there are a lot of things to look forward to, and it's all about execution from these teams.
Yeah. And yeah, let's head into our solo analyst segment. Manjin.
Parang ang bilis ng game na yun ha. Parang mas matagal pa yung naging boss actually of the game because that was so dominant for Execration. Tama, ang sinabi dito ng ating mga shoutcasters, lane dominance ang ginamit ng Team Execration dito to win. All I wanna say is that, man, Electro Flash is back para dito kay Benny Cutie. And actually, tama ang sinabi ni Wolf. Interesting pick though on the Zask para dito kay Unseen, no? I think ang gusto sana nilang gawin dito was to really clear the waves, really